Welcome to another episode of Lifestyles. I'm your host, Craig Sewing. We got an awesome show today celebrating America's finest city. We go out in the marketplace to visit some of the fun things happening here in San Diego, but also the real estate markets with our co-hosts Jen Morris and Lindsay Tour. Got a great show lined up for you. Let's go ahead and get it started right now. Recently rated one of the top bloggers for travel by TripAdvisor, also an author, followed by hundreds of thousands of people. Wayne Dunlap joins us in studio to discuss his book and something I think is just awesome for San Diego, Staycations. Why, when you live in America's finest city, would you leave? Wayne Dunlap, good to have you on the show, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. That's
yeah,
wonderful.
So you got one heck of a story that's kind of fun to share. You're in San Diego right now, and you had a career leading up to traveling, and somehow you've made traveling its own career. Now you have this major social media presence. So share with our audience what you do.
Well, we decided after we retired to do something different. So we put everything up for rent, put everything in storage, and we took off and traveled the world for 3 or 4 years. So we were out of the country 8 months a year. And I started a little travel blog just so my wife and I remember what we did.
Wow.
And it caught on. And people started asking more questions. What did you eat? What did you do? And then we got picked up by other media. The Wall Street Journal picked us up, a few other things. The story kind of went viral. And so our blog became very popular.
So it was almost a diary of some sort. And we're in that world now online. People picked up on it, went viral, so to speak. And now people rely on you for travel advice.
Well, we've been to 100 countries now, and so we've posted about 250 places around the world, and I give tips of how to do the trip, how to save money, and that's one of our big ideas, is how people can travel the world for half the cost of it you normally would think.
Yeah, pretty unbelievable, and I hope people will visit you on your blog. But the reason I wanted to invite you onto Lifestyles today is you and I were recently at a happy hour, and we were talking about how amazing it is when you come back to San Diego from a trip, and then we started, I think that evolved to having a staycation here. And I shared with you, I did a staycation last year, and it was the funnest trip that I didn't go on all year long. I went to a lot of other places as well. It's easier, it's cheaper, right? And again, we're in an amazing place where the sun is around year round.
Yeah.
So let's give some advice on staycations. Help us.
It's lovely because you can play in your own city. And the thing that we should realize is that 33 million people from around the world come to visit San Diego, and we're right here. And you can avoid the flights, the major packing, the security lines, and you can
stress.
The stress.
I mean,
and you can be there in 15, 20 minutes, as opposed to it takes a whole day to fly someplace else.
Sometimes traveling is stressful,
it is.
Right? And again, it can be expensive as well. So help us identify some good locations to do it where we can stay cost effective, have a lot of fun, and still feel like we're on an actual vacation.
Well, one of the things that we really like, we just did as a stay vacation, then we decided to move down there for the last couple of years, is downtown San Diego.
Yep.
There is so much fun to do. You got the Embarcadero, you've got the Gas Lamp District, Little Italy. You can take a ferry over to Coronado, take a harbor cruise. There's hundreds of restaurants. The Padre baseball games are right there. And the fun thing that we do is that, say we want to go, there's 2 comedy shops. Let's say we want to go to a comedy shop. So we go out to dinner, go to the comedy shop, and then we walk back home. Never fire up the car. It's really a lot of fun.
So if you haven't had the opportunity to enjoy the Gas Lamp District, Wayne can help dial you in there, and obviously can have a lot of fun. Tell us about some other areas in San Diego. Maybe somebody is got plenty of their downtown fill, right? Maybe they live close to downtown and they're trying to explore a little bit more north or even east for that matter.
Right.
What areas would you suggest going in that direction?
Well, one of the things, if you love beaches and love beach sunsets, we have one of the best places in the world in North County Coastal. You got Del Mar, you got Carlsbad, you've got all the way down to Solana Beach and Cardiff, and et cetera. And you can walk Torrey Pines, walk the beaches, enjoy those beach communities, and just relax. It's a very relaxing vacation. The other one I always like to point out to people is a lot of people have families. We raised our kid, and it's expensive to fly someplace. But we have one of the best family resorts in the United States right here in San Diego. and that's Carlsbad. You got Legoland, but Legoland expanded. The Legoland has the water park. Now it has Merlin's Sea Aquatic Center, and it's got outlet centers. It's got golf, and so it's got Legoland's got their own theme hotel now, where the furniture is made out of Legos, and the kids just love it. Yeah, they have treasure hunts at night. So, you could drop the kids off at the water park, go out shopping or go golfing, come back and enjoy the hotel with your kids, and just drive over here and enjoy and just, avoid the hassle.
I want to get some specific staycation advice.
Yeah.
So this is a San Diego-based show. People know San Diego. They can go take your advice on this for a weekend just to hang out or try something new. But what advice would you give to somebody who's saying, no, we actually want to go on vacation, so we want to take a week off, and we want to spend some time in whatever areas you might see fit. How do you approach that, from lodging and restaurants and making sure it's economically efficient? How would you approach a staycation versus just exploring some cool areas in San Diego?
Well, one of the things that we like to do is when we get into a neighborhood is get immersed into it and figure out how to enjoy the best restaurants and that kind of thing. And the best way we found about that is Airbnb.
Okay,
a lot of people,
that's a good place to do the lodging.
Great, because a lot of people have little rooms in the back of their house or whatever. You stay there, they're affordable, and then the owner will meet you and answer all your questions, tell you the best restaurants, where to go, what's the entertainment, what's the best beach to go to, whatever is cool.
So nothing against the hotel chains, but you're recommending Airbnb.
I like Airbnb a lot. We've had really good experience because they get rated. And so you can look down, if someone's rated bad, just skip over it. The other one is everybody should subscribe to Travel Zoo.
Travel Zoo.
Yeah, travelzoo.com. What they do is, we know the guys there, and what they do is they find really good deals around and they promote them. And so periodically, like a hotel in San Diego will come up like it's half price. And so my wife and I see it come up and we look at each other and go, hey, what about a romantic weekend and just take off to this hotel and spend time in Coronado or go to La Jolla or whatever. And you can spend easily 2 days in those areas.
Of course.
And especially if you get nice, inexpensive lodging at a really nice hotel on a deal. So those are really good ways to do it.
Well, traveling can be pretty complicated, from booking the room, getting to the best restaurants, maybe if you need to make changes. And I know that I'm a busy guy and it's almost impossible for me. So being able to kind of leverage your knowledge as a turnkey solution to finding the stuff, I think it's just awesome. It's why I wanted to invite you on Lifestyles. Yeah. The show is really committed to celebrating America's finest city, and we're out all the time in the market. We're going to be throughout this show with Jen and Lindsay as well. But I thought, let's get Wayne in here. Let's get in studio and let's just talk about how to set up a staycation here. So we learned a lot today. If we want to visit your blog, follow you, how can we advise people?
Unhooknow.com.
Unhooknow.com. Wayne Dunlap, thanks for kicking us off with Lifestyles here today. Now we are going to go out and get into the market. Appreciate it. I hope people visit your blog and pick up your book. But let's get on going out in the market with our girls.
I'm Lindsay Tour for Lifestyles San Diego. Today we're here in the gorgeous community of Santee, ready to talk to leading real estate agent Jennifer Toops of Keller Williams Realty. Jennifer was recently awarded Top Closing Agent for 2016 at her office, so she has a wealth of knowledge to share about the real estate market here in Santee, as well as the lifestyle that this fabulous community has to offer. All right, I'm here with the gorgeous Jennifer Toops from Keller Williams Realty. Thank you so much for having us down here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I can't believe that it's mid-December and it's absolutely gorgeous outside.
Right? Santee weather. It's how it is about 90% of the time here in Santee.
You can't go wrong.
Can't.
And speaking of Santee, I know that that's a place that you know very well.
Yes.
You not only sell real estate here in Santee, but you raise a family, you've grown up here. Talk a little bit more about Santee's history.
Okay, so my family actually came to Santee in 1986. I was 3 and grew up going to the Santee schools, and at the time there was nothing. It was fields, and I remember when Denny's was like the new big thing.
Nice.
And since then I've just watched it grow tremendously. I mean, we have pretty much any restaurant you can think of. Our shopping here is amazing. We have the trolley coming in now. Breweries, we have our own breweries, so if you want to have a craft beer, it's the place. And it's just really geared towards families.
Let's talk a little bit more. I know you have some children.
Yes.
And they are within the school districts here, and I know you mentioned it briefly. What are some of the top schools here in Santee that you can find?
So Santana High School is ranked 8 out of 10. So they have really great test scores. My daughter goes there, she's a sophomore, and my son goes to Cajon Park. They're a great school. Carlton Oaks Elementary, Carlton Hills Elementary are great schools. They're ranked 8s and 9s.
Wow.
And so overall, Santee schools are some of the highest in all of East County.
That's amazing.
Yeah, kindergarten through 8th grade, which is nice. You don't see that a lot.
All right, absolutely. So, and you mentioned that this place is really family friendly, and we're here at Santee Lakes, which is absolutely beautiful. I didn't realize how large this place was.
It's huge.
Talk a little bit more about the lakes here.
Yeah, so 7 man-made lakes, and there is everything to do here, from camping, which I love, and I love to take my family camping here. If we forget something, we're just down the street, so that's nice. But yeah, I mean, fishing, as you can see, tons of fishing, boating, picnicking. There's 7 playgrounds with the spray grounds for the kids to get wet during the summer. But not even just that, this place has activities going on all year round.
Nice.
You know, we just had Santa at the lakes, which was so much fun. It was snow and carnival rides.
Fun.
And of course, Santa was here for all the kids, inflatables, food, you name it, arts and crafts, just a really great day for the kids and the families. We had the holiday lighting celebration where they lit the holiday tree in the Santee Town Center, which is kind of the center of Santee, in the middle of November. And then during Easter, they do a big, huge Easter egg hunt here where they have food trucks, arts and crafts, a petting zoo, carnival rides. I mean, you name it, they go all out.
How fun.
Yeah.
I can imagine like being a mother wanting to raise your family here. I mean, something to be said growing up here and then, you know, getting to raise your own family here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Nowhere else I would rather be for my family. Maybe later on down the road we move towards the beach, but for now it's great for the family.
But speaking of the beach, I mean, Santee is only about
18 miles from the beach.
Not too far at all.
Super 20-minute drive. And we go to the beach a lot during the summertime. Go camping here during the summer months. They do concerts here. Santee actually holds concerts quite a bit during the years. They do a bluegrass festival in September. You know, concert series in the summertime where there's food trucks. Everybody goes out during the week, sits on the grass and enjoys some live music. I mean, there's just always things going on. You know, it's a great community.
Yeah, you really don't have to go far.
You don't.
To find the fun.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. Now let's talk a little bit more about the real estate market here in Santee. I know that you've been selling real estate for a couple years now and crushing it, doing absolutely wonderful. Congratulations on that. But what are you seeing in Santee?
So we're seeing some new development going up, which is great. So Santee is actually the 11th largest city in the county out of 18 cities, and about half of it is undeveloped.
Wow.
Meaning that we're one of the few cities in San Diego that has room to grow. And so we're seeing a lot of new homes coming up, which I'm really excited about. There's going to be 415 new homes being built in Castle Rock community over by West Hills High School. That should be finished by 2018, hopefully. And then we're going to see about 82 new homes being built right now by KB Homes over by Hill Creek Elementary on Braverman. That's coming up. And then they just opened up 60 condominiums, townhomes over by Mission Trails Park, which is great too. And so, you know, the median sales price for a detached single-family home right now in Santee is $465,000.
Wow.
97% of the homes that are being sold in Santee are selling at list price.
Wow.
And average days on market, meaning the time it takes a home to go into escrow once it's on the market, is roughly about 23 days. And so those numbers are pretty consistent. We've seen that consistency.
That's
here.
so nice. I mean, it sounds like there's really something for everybody.
Absolutely.
Not only, you know, families or first-time home buyers and younger families as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a great place for first-time home buyers. You know, average sales price for a single-family detached home about $415, and then, you know, there's your median at $465. So it's still great for first-time home buyers. Even a condo or a townhome, you know, is still accessible here.
Oh my gosh.
But it's a great community, so much to do. So yeah,
Absolutely.
Born and raised, love it, proud.
We're here in December, and a lot of people think, you know, this is not the time to buy. But I disagree, and I'm sure you do too. If there's any sort of advice for potential buyers out there right now and at this time of year, what would it be?
I would say, you know, just do your research. You know, they just announced interest rates are going up. And so when we see interest rates continuously going up, home prices are going to start coming down. And just do your research. You know, it's really important for people to understand not only what the market's doing, but also the process, you know, the process of buying and selling a home. You know, sit down with your agent, let your agent go over the process with you, ask questions. That way you know exactly what to expect and you're not kind of left in the dark with how the process works. I think that's really important.
Awesome. Well, do you have a website that maybe if somebody was interested in hearing more?
Of course, it's jennifertoops.kw.com.
Perfect. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Love Santee. Love hearing about it.
Come visit.
I will, definitely.
America's finest city is America's funnest city. We're going to go inside to the Resident Brewing Company with the iconic Jimmy Langley to talk about the social scene, new things happening with craft beer, and all the cool things happening in our downtown. Let's go talk to Jimmy, see what's up. All right, here we are with the iconic Jimmy Langley. He is a commercial real estate entrepreneur. He's got his hands all over stuff happening downtown. And here we are at Resident Brewing Company. And not to mention, cheers, thanks for the beer.
Welcome, thank you.
Not to mention, the first ever guest on Lifestyles, our show here. So today you are a repeat offender.
Oh, it's great. And I'm glad to be back, and that was a lot of fun the first time. The feedback that I got from being on the show was amazing. So
it's pretty cool.
Thank you for
having me on. Tell us about the beer we're drinking. Let's start with the fun stuff.
Yeah, so this here is our Vacation Coconut IPA. We toast 50 pounds of coconut and mix it into the brew kettle. I really love this beer. It's a nice contrast to a West Coast style IPA, and the oils and the coconut really contrast and cut the bitterness in an IPA. So for a lot of people who may not like an IPA, often will love this beer because it doesn't have that bitterness that leaves you the dry taste in the middle of your tongue.
The first time we had you on, you articulated in such a great way how people will get into wine, right? Winos. And now you're seeing that people will sit down and enjoy a craft beer. What's happening new in this space since the last time we chatted with you?
Well, craft beer I think is evolving, right? So you see a lot of session IPAs coming out. It's a lighter style IPA that still gives you a great flavor to a normal West Coast IPA. You're seeing the sour epidemic is exploding right now.
The sour epidemic?
Yes. There's a lot of artisan craft work, and that's what consumers want now. They want something that someone's put a lot of effort into, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that have a story behind it, and they don't want to just drink something that's mass-produced and it doesn't have a story behind it.
Has its time and place, right?
Yeah, I want to drink something that has a story that I feel like I'm connected to the product that I'm consuming, and that's where our world's heading in all kinds of different things.
What about the story of downtown San Diego?
Yeah.
I mean, what's new here? You're a commercial guy. You've had your hands on all kinds of success stories from restaurants to bars. What do we have to expect in America's finest city?
There's a lot changing here, right? And obviously with Measure C not passing yesterday, how that shakes out will be interesting to see.
What does that mean?
So right now, essentially we were voting to build a box, to build a stadium in, right? Yeah. So we were asking, hey, give us a box that we can create something inside. Now that box is gone, we're back to the drawing board. And it doesn't mean that the stadium will not go downtown, doesn't mean that the Chargers are leaving San Diego, but it doesn't help at all, right? So
that's tough. 2/3 is tough.
2/3 is tough, and that's it doesn't mean it's dead though. It just means that avenue is no longer the avenue to get it done. So now you have to look at alternative financing, and how that whole thing shakes out we'll just have to wait and see who steps up to the plate, who doesn't. But you have Seaport Village. That's an RFP that the city put out that they finally have chosen a group to develop that whole thing. That's going to become a community lifestyle portion of San Diego. When you look at our bayfront and downtown, it is going to get a huge overhaul. In the next 5 years, that's going to change so much, which is really the focal point of our city.
Jimmy Langley, I hope you can come down, check out the Resident Brewing Company, certainly the local here downtown, one of the greatest spots. Cheers, thanks for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Back to the show. Jimmy Langley, I got to tell you, that guy, he's one of the most successful guys in San Diego because he's one of the most likable guys, proving that this is really a relationship-driven town. Resident Brewing Company, a great success story of our town. Hope you enjoyed that piece. Let's take it back to the show.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Tour for Lifestyle San Diego. Today we're here in one of my favorite cities of San Diego, the beautiful beach town of Encinitas. We're going to be hearing from real estate pro Ryan Dalzell from Pacific Sotheby's, where he's going to share all about the Encinitas Ranch Golf Course and some of the exciting things happening in the real estate market here in Encinitas. Let's go talk to him now. All right, I'm out here in Encinitas with somebody who's no stranger to our show, Ryan Dalzell. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Great to be back.
It's good to be here by the fire.
It's nice and toasty.
I like it in December.
Yeah, not bad.
I feel like we need a hot cup of cocoa. What do you say?
That works for me.
Yes. Well, we are here at the Encinitas Ranch Golf Course.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit more about this golf course and where it's located. Where can you find it?
Encinitas Ranch. This is my home course. It is an awesome course. I think Torrey Pines gets a lot of notoriety and buzz, and well-deserved. It's got beautiful ocean views and the canyons, but Encinitas Ranch has the same ocean views, and it's the same dramatic canyons throughout the course. I've donated at least a few dozen golf balls into those canyons over my time, but it's very convenient. It's a great course, affordable, so love it.
It's right here in the mix of a lot of housing and real estate.
Yeah, no, it's super convenient. You've got just down the hill to the east, you've got the Forum and all the high-end shopping restaurants there, and then a mile or two to the west, you've got Leucadia and the beach. So couldn't be in a better spot.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. Now let's talk a little bit more about the amenities you can find here at this golf course and kind of what makes it special.
You know, they've catered for everything. So obviously you've got a great putting green, you've got the driving range, but it's just a very picturesque course. It's challenging, but not too challenging for a hacker like myself.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, all right.
We might have to battle it out later, we'll see.
I'm on.
Now let's talk a little bit about the membership here. How does that work?
You know, the best thing that they have is it's part of the JC Resorts, so they have a JC members card, and that is $329 a year. Actually, it's a special running right now until the end of the year, and that gives you 8 free rounds of golf. You get discounts on all the gear, merchandise, so it's for anyone that plays at least 3 or 4 or 5 times a year, it's a great deal.
All right, so we're out here on the patio and kind of looking into the clubhouse here. Talk a little bit more about that.
Great pro shop that they have. The Ranch Grill was not so long ago renovated, and it's got a real trendy look to it. Great food, really great bar, and so this is a perfect spot. I mean, I'll come here sometimes not even playing golf, but just for business meetings or friends, and just sit out on the patio or have a meal inside.
Absolutely. Now the holidays are kind of around the corner, and I know that this course has put on some charity events and things for the holidays. Talk a little bit more about that.
The best thing that they have is through the month they've got a raffle going on. So if people bring in a toy or they just buy raffle tickets, the proceeds all go to 2 really great charities for military families, the STEP Project and Folds of Honor, so that you can check out those organizations. But just a really great way of supporting enlisted families that are either in crisis or coming back from combat. So
I love that, always giving back.
Oh yeah.
Now let's talk a little bit more about some of the amenities that you can find surrounding the golf course. I know you mentioned the Forum was just down the way, and it's not too far from some of the beaches. So you can't go wrong.
Encinitas, Leucadia have awesome beaches. Also right down the street you have the San Diego Botanic Gardens.
Yes.
And it's Christmas time, end of year. They have, through the month of December, they have their Garden of Lights. So the gardens are beautiful during the day, but at night it's amazing. They have 125,000 lights. They have wagon rides. They've got hot chocolate and cider and marshmallow roasting, and of course Santa. So my kids bugged me every year about coming to Garden of Lights. So it's a great event for the community.
All right, so let's dive into some real estate. We're wrapping up 2016 and coming to a close here. What are some of the trends that you've noticed throughout this year and some of your projections for 2017?
Yeah, I think the big story for 2016 has been inventory or the lack thereof. But I will say that actually that has started changing. We noticed in November that inventory is up 11% year on year. So I think once people got past the election, it kind of gave some certainty and clarity to the market, and so we're starting to see a little bit more inventory. But Encinitas, Carlsbad, those are two of the top zip codes for 2016 for San Diego. These markets have done great. They've been 6-7% price appreciation. And I think as we go into 2017, you're going to see that pull back a little bit, and that's healthy and natural. I think we'll see 3 to 5% price appreciation. You'll get a little bit more inventory. Interest rates are going up. People know that now, so I think that creates a little bit of motivation for buyers to jump in if they're going to buy.
Yes, get to it now before it gets any worse.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Now you have a fabulous listing that's really not too far from here. Talk to us a little bit more about that.
Yep, you can literally walk across the street to the golf course. So it is 1156 Hampton. It's on a cul-de-sac. It is an entry-level home for this area. So for under $1 million, you've got a great 4-bedroom home with high ceilings. Also, what is really appealing is it's got a low-maintenance backyard. It's patio and drought tolerant, which for Encinitas in this area, given water rates keep going up, it's really appealing to be able to lock and leave. You've got almost no maintenance required. So
I love that. And how much is that going for?
just under $1 million. So $950 to $1 million. Yeah.
Perfect. Sounds amazing. Congratulations on that. I think in honor of the Encinitas Ranch Golf Course, we should go out on the greens and hit a ball.
All right.
Or 3. I don't know. It might take me a while.
Did you bring your A game?
Yeah, I'll try. You just heard from real estate pro Ryan Dalzell from Pacific Sotheby's. He was able to share more about this beautiful community of Encinitas, the Encinitas Golf Course, and some of the exciting holiday events happening around the community. We know he's a real estate pro, but let's go see if he's a pro on the golf course.
All right, that's all for today's show. Hope you enjoyed exploring America's finest city with us. Lifestyles is a show that is really there to show you the great beaches and sunsets and social scenes, but also dreaming big about the real estate market. Hope you enjoyed it. You can find everything at craigsewing.com. Don't forget, follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. We're there everywhere, and you can engage in the conversation. Until next week, hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you then.